Tennessee's defensive tackles are on tap. Let's go ahead and dive into those, as you can read about it on offthehooksports.com. As a whole, I would think Tennessee's defensive tackles would be down. Are you hot or cold on that notion?
I am actually cold on that notion. No, I'm including defensive line, so I'm including the edge rushers, the guys that play with their hands in the dirt.
Had defensive tackles on the rundown. So let's go.
That was all me. That was my mistake. I just realizing what Rodney Garner coaches. He coaches everything, and it makes them interchangeable. So defensive line as a whole, I am actually high on, and that I get what James Pierce did yesterday. I get what what Tennessee's losing. But I'm high on the defensive line, and I think they still have enough depth. Jimmy Hines, of all people, convinced me on that. So I guess we could start with the interior. If we want to start with the interior,
let's go ahead and do that, and we'll list off the players headed into spring practice. Are you hot or cold on that individual? Now, some of these guys probably will be held out, as you're always take precautionary measures if anybody's beat up. But we're going to go ahead and say headed into the season. Jackson Moy.
Paris Hilton, man. Paris Hilton.
Hot.
That is hot.
Yeah, I love the way he plays. He's a leverage guy. And I think that with that, Jackson Moy is the perfect complement into the system.
All right. Let's move a little to the outside. Joshua Josephs at the Leo position.
That's hot.
Oh, sorry. Because I'm cold on him. I think Tennessee takes a step down at that Leo position with James Pierce, even though he wasn't that productive.
Oh, no. I'm cold on him for a different reason than you. I think there's a couple other Leos that are about to step up and be absolutely deadly. And I already mentioned one that we'll get to in a second. And Joshua Joseph.
Jordan Ross.
That's hot.
All-American.
Celine.
All-American. This dude is going to be a superstar, guys. Jordan Ross will be better than James Pierce this year.
Okay. I'm not willing to go that far, but you've been pounding that drum.
So. They've gone, basically, Byron Young to James Pierce. That was Joey Kent to Marcus Nash. Jordan Ross is Peerless Price, who was clearly better than Kent and Nash.
Okay. All right. Bryson Eason, hot or cold?
Hot. I think he's perfect for the interior. He was good last year. He's going to be better this year with another year of experience. I think Bryson Eason is with Omar Norman Lott and Amari Thomas gone, Bryson Eason is kind of going to be the anchor of the defensive line in the middle.
Okay, I want to get to Dominic Bailey. Again, it is hot or cold, brought to you by City Heat and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com.
Hi, Mike Davis here with City Heating and Air, reminding you to always dare to compare. Our team provides quality local heating and air service, installation, and maintenance across East Tennessee. We use only the best equipment like American Standard heating and air conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. Honesty, dependability, and customer satisfaction have been the cornerstones of our business since 1961. City Heat and Air.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Dominic Bailey at the defensive end position.
I'm actually still pretty hot on Dominic Bailey. I think he's a solid player. I think he's a rotational guy. But I'm cold on him as a full-time starter. Hot on him as a rotational guy and a guy that can at least keep the depth going for Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm cold on him. Tyree West.
Hot. That we talk about like there's a Leo and then there's like a defensive end that plays with his hand in the dirt the whole time, which I think Tyree West kind of does and can move between tackle and end. He's going to be the 3 technique, 5 technique guy. He's going to be the best 3-5 technique hybrid guy that Rodney Garner's ever had at Tennessee.
Okay, that's pretty strong. All right, so Tyree Weathersby, hot or cold?
Cold.
Yeah.
Cold
I think he's going to be good. David Hobbs, I'm cold on because I just thought he would have a bigger impact by now. He was very highly touted, highly recruited, and he's now headed in his junior year and hasn't done much.
Yeah, the only reason to potentially be hot on him is that if you think Dominic Bailey is going to be pushed down a little bit, then maybe David Hobbs will start to finally emerge. But you are right. It's now I thought he was going to see more action last year, and he didn't. So there is kind of a concern about that.
Nope, I agree completely. All right, anybody else you want to hit up here on Hot or Cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning?
What about Emmanuel Okoye?
Ooh, good one.
They moved him to. Do you think now, with a year in a system, that he could actually be a dangerous player?
Could, yes. I always wonder about these guys from Europe or somewhere else. I mean, did they really make the transition? So I guess I'll say I'm cold until I actually see it, but he does have a year under his belt. What makes you hot about him if you are? I mean, is it 2 sacks? Is it 10 tackles for losses this season? I mean, what does he have to do to prove that we should be hot on Emmanuel Okoye?
That's
I think maybe just registers 8 to 10 tackles and is part of the rotation. Like Rodney Garner runs how many guys? Like I think Emmanuel Okoye will be in that rotation some. And I guess that's where I land with this.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that they can do that.
And there's a few there are a few also early enrollees, I believe.
Go ahead and draw those up as portions of the program are brought to you by our great friends at City Heat and Air Conditioning. We mentioned that 50 years in East Tennessee. Integrity matters. 50 years in East Tennessee. I know that they came out to do some work on our house, and someone else had said, "Oh, you need a whole new unit," and they're like, "No," they gave us a part and took care of it for about a 10th price, actually less than that. All right, Caleb, who's up next?
All right, so a few early enrollees we want to get to, and we're going to start with Isaiah Campbell, who is a 4-star out of Durham, North Carolina. I'm cold on him. I think he's too small right now. I think he'll get there, but I think he's too small right now.
You should be cold on all the incoming guys because playing on the defensive line is usually not going to happen. When's the last time that Tennessee's had a freshman make an impact on the defensive line?
Oh, the defensive line.
Can't think of one.
That's a really good question. I'm not even sure. I mean, didn't Albert Hainsworth get action in 99 as a freshman?
A little bit, and then I thought they kind of pulled him back a little bit because he was getting a little too wild.
Yeah. That's a tough one. You're right. It's tough to think about, but just a few more to run through. I mean, we got Marion Dye talking about him. He's more of an edge rusher. I am
related to Marion Barry. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh my gosh, no, he's not. But not that I'm actually potentially high on him as a guy that they could use as another edge rusher just for a change of pace. Jaden Lofton, cold on him, and Ethan Utley, cold on him. I'm cold. I'll just say it. I'm cold on Ethan Utley, just his future period. And then Charles House and Nick Moore.
What do you not like about Ethan Utley?
I feel like he is 6'3", 275. I don't think he'll be able to maintain athleticism if he puts on the necessary 20 pounds to get to where he needs to go. So I'm sorry.
Taylor Calhoun's like, man, he's Utley's dead to me.
Now, funny enough, Nick Moore is listed as a defensive lineman on some sites and an offensive lineman elsewhere, but I think he's going to end up being an offensive lineman. So I don't think that's somebody that we should focus on. And Charles House is not an early enrollee, so he won't be around with the defensive tackles in the spring, to my knowledge.